How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good day, happy moon day. I am recording this with the idea that it might be that I record it again tomorrow or the next day. There is so much going on that I'm having a hard time as an astrologer synthesizing it all and putting it into words. And so what's happening and what can happen when there's a lot of mercurial energy is that our nervous system gets taxed. Hi, if you're just joining, type in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling this morning, how you're feeling about this week, what you're noticing in your body. So when we get into this overthinking and our nervous system is in hyperdrive, for some of us, it can be hard to digest things like experiences, interactions. When we're in a state of fight or flight, freeze or fawn, we're not able to rest and digest. And this is why the embodiment work is so important. This is why the somatic work is so important, because the astrology is there as a guide to us, but if we get into overthinking, overanalyzing, and over-information, we are separating ourselves from the embodiment piece. And the embodiment piece is the most important piece, because we are here in bodies to feel, to experience, and to digest. So what are you being asked to digest this week? I want to talk to you about what Mercury is doing, what Mars is doing, what the sun and the moon will be doing this week. But more importantly, as you're listening or as you're receiving this message, I want you to hear how important it is for you to digest what you need to digest this week. So that might happen through journaling, that might happen through microdosing, that might happen by getting an astrology reading with me. This week only until Wednesday, I am offering mini Mercurial clarity readings. The link's in my profile for $165. It's for this work and how much clarity it can bring. It is such a good decision to move forward with more clarity into what is being asked to be embodied through you from your astrology. So there's so many different ways that you can process this energy, but do not let yourself get stuck in overthinking, overanalyzing, and disembodying, freezing, fawning, and most importantly, numbing. We are here to feel. We are here to experience. So I want to read what people are writing. So Rachel says, thankfully, my body has been super relaxed the last 2 days. Love it. What have you been doing that has helped you to have that experience? And so many of us forget to journal or write out when we are doing well, what we were doing the few days before that to get to that place. Sometimes it's related, sometimes we can't really relate it, but more often than not, we write when we're in a bad place and we're seeking a way out. So it's really important to know and understand what are the things that you were doing before that to set you up for having this really juicy experience right now in your body. So if you're just joining, we are in for a very mercurial week. We're entering the shadow of Mercury retrograde, which will start in September. If you don't already have your planetary planner, you can get the digital version on super sale on my website. And I tell you about all the Mercury retrogrades happening. I'm going to try and find that page for you. And so that you can journal on where they're happening in your chart, because that is such good information to know. Like for me, I know it's going from my second to my first house. That's going to be a very different experience than if you had this happening in your 12th to 11th house, right? So that, and then we have the new moon on August 27th, which I think I'm just going to do a separate video about. I think I want this to just be in general about this. There's a butterfly, or is it yep, it's a butterfly. Mercurial AF week. Okay, so the new moon is August 27th in 4 degrees of Virgo. Not only that, but we just had Mars enter Gemini, and it will be there for the next 7 months. All of those, okay, so Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. So if you have a lot of mutability in your chart, any of the mutable signs, you might be feeling this like confusion, overdrive, just a lot of information coming through. This is especially true if you have Virgo or Gemini placements, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't have those, you won't be feeling those things, because you likely will. But it's really important to understand that the mutable signs are about change. So we're being asked to change how we process things, how we orient ourselves, where we welcome in change, where we restrict and try to like clamp down around change, and to really kind of change the way that we're seeing things in our world and how they're working out for us, because they're always wanting to work out for us. So Rachel says, to reply to what I said, I actually journaled some intentions and wrote out my schedule for the next 3 weeks, including scheduling my self-care every day. Good job. I love that. Nice work. Hello, Maria. Hello, if you're just joining. We're going to be talking more about Mercury, and Mercury in your chart tells you so much about how you personally process, communicate, convey, and want to convey and be conveyed to. So Mercury in your chart is a really important piece to look at. Some of us have a very crisp, clear air sign, fire sign, Mercury placement, and some of us, like me, have a very watery or earthy communication, which is going to be more your energy, very feminine. It's a much more conveying things that are kind of beyond what there's words for. So your energy is very important. Your embodiment piece is so important. And then your ability to tap into your intuition. So if you have more of the watery, earthy, you're going to have more of that yin way of communicating. And that can be super frustrating living in a masculine driven world. I definitely experienced that. And that's one of the reasons why I love astrology, because it's a different way to convey and communicate information that makes it a little bit easier for me to access and be understood by people. So I want to see. Okay, Darby says, I've quite literally been having digestive problems the last 4 days. Okay, so this is very common, especially if you have a lot of Gemini and Virgo placements. I would say Virgo top, and then Gemini, and then looking at your 3rd and 6th houses. So the 6th house in particular has to do with our health, and it can have to do with our digestive health in particular. And 3rd house can be an overactive nervous system, agitation within conversation and communication, and feeling frustration, therefore that leading to what is that called, like holding on or over releasing. And that can happen verbally, not speaking things when you need to speak things, over speaking things that don't need to be spoken, and it can have to do with literally, right? So these are the places that you want to look to in your chart. Now, this is where having an astrology reading with me is going to be super helpful. So the link in my profile will lead you to this kind of special offering that I have for the next 2 days. It's available till 2 days that I have till Wednesday. It is a recorded Zoom reading. Hi, if you're just joining, recorded Zoom reading with me. So you can either hop on the call if you're available during the time that I'm available on Wednesday, or I can just record it and send it to you, which is really nice if you're feeling like you just need a breakdown of your Mercury, the Mercury that's transiting, all of the mercurial things that are happening for the next few months, because they're big. And when we have this extra mercurial energy, it can be very spinny, can be very ungrounding. And so it becomes so important to find ways to ground. So getting a reading with me can just kind of set you on that right track. So if you're interested in that, grab one of those spots. Someone just type that into the chat. I'm like, exactly, grab one of those spots. So I don't always offer, usually my readings are 2 hours long, and they are deep embodiment work along with the astrology. And so it's not all the time that I offer, at the $100 level to get a reading with me. So if you have been wanting one, this is the opportunity to jump on it. And they're really helpful for understanding and understanding where you're being asked to step into more, whatever, leadership, community, embodiment work, whatever the thing is, and how Mercury can help guide you there. Instead of spinning you and overthinking and kind of living up here, it gets us down into here, it gets us down into here, it gets us down in here, and then it helps you just really live your truth and live the clarity that you're aching for. So these Mercurial clarity sessions are available till Wednesday. You can click the link in my profile to get one. But overall, I just wanted to come on here to talk about how Mercurial this week is and how to best take care of you. And only you really knows that. And so trusting yourself, trusting that you know what will help bring you more calm, more soothing energy. Oftentimes, for those of us who kind of have been conditioned to live through the mind, we'll think that we need to just work harder, do more, kind of push through. And that's the opposite of what this week is really asking you to do. Hello, if you're just joining, Jessie. So glad you could join. So during a week like this, as we're transitioning to the Virgo energy, Virgo is the virgin energy. And what that really means is tending to your own energy, kind of leaving behind the conditioning of the outside world and coming back home to you, coming back home to your digestive system, coming back home to what nourishes you. I know that traveling right now, I made one green smoothie during this time and I felt so nourished when I drank it. And so today I'm going out and getting myself some things to make my green smoothie, because at Virgo season, it doesn't become optional anymore. It becomes necessary for you to stay grounded, for you to take good care of this temple that we've been gifted for such a short time. So really at Virgo season, it's asking you to pay attention to what's going to help fill your own cup, so that whatever you want to do or be in the outside world can just come to fruition, can be. Because if you're just pushing through and overthinking and like thinking that you just need to work harder or do more, it's counter to how you want to live, right? And so this season is a perfect season to change some of the wiring that you have in your nervous system and your mental capacity, and kind of shift into more of this feminine embodiment. This virgin energy has nothing to do with what's happening or what's not happening in a bedroom. It has to do with how you're tending to your own energy, and who and if you're letting people come in and dictate your own energy. Women have been conditioned to do this, so don't be too hard on yourself if you do this, but this is the time to shift that. So some ways that you can do that: one, getting a reading with me. I have the link in my profile to order your reading. It's only available for the next 2 days. 2, join Feminine Leadership. We start on Friday. This is really a beautiful deep dive journey into all of the feminine archetypes, where they live in your chart, what they're asking of you, and what wants to come through you that you've been denying because of the conditioning you received, not only from your childhood, but literally what's been living in you because you were there in some capacity in your grandmother's womb. So if you think about your grandmother and her journey and all the restrictions that she faced, we have to go in and decondition that out of our own body so that our children can be free, so that our grandchildren can be free. And so this is the journey with Feminine Leadership. It starts this Friday. I'm talking really fast. Let's slow it down. So if you're here, type it in the chat. Let me know how you've been experiencing, not just today, but the last couple days, and then what's coming up for you. So if you want to just type it in the chat, let me know how you're doing. If you're feeling these mercurial energies starting to build, we're not even in Virgo season. So I think it's later today, possibly tomorrow. I think it's later today that we step into the Virgo season. Hi, Gracia. Hi, if you're just joining. So let me know how you're feeling. But yeah, we're not even there yet. So I wanted to do this because I'm already talking faster than I want to. I wanted to record this in Leo season still to kind of come into my heart a little bit more. But I will be doing a new moon live in the next few days about the new moon that's happening on the 27th. If you don't already have your planetary planner, they're on super sale and digital version on my website. But yeah, it's on the 27th and 4 degrees of Virgo. So look at where that's at in your chart, and I'll talk more about that later. Yeah, okay, so I didn't talk about anxiety, so thank you for bringing that up. So hey, major anxiety, feels like my mind is everywhere. Yes, and I don't say yes because I want you to feel that way. I say yes because this is a very common thing, especially if you have Virgo, Gemini placements, or any of the mutable signs. And this is really bringing in how important it is to ground, to anchor, to come back in the present moment, and just ask your body, what do you need from me right now in this moment? And what we often do with this is we come back to the brain and we're like, well, I can't give you that right now. Like if our body's like, I just want to go lay down. I just want to go lay in the grass. I just want to go get in the sun. Our brain's like, well, I can't offer you that right now. Maybe once you get this work done, or you do this thing, or you do that thing, then I can let you do that. And this is so ass backwards, and it's our conditioning from our childhood, because when we were little and we were at school and we were like, I'm tired, I want to lay down, our teachers weren't just like, oh, you're tired, go lay down. That didn't happen when we were itty bitties. Not typically. So it's so important to give that to ourselves right now, because that's what rewires everything. And once we start doing this, we start to recognize, what I started to recognize is when my body needed to lay down for 5 minutes, it really did only need 5 minutes. Virgo moon. Yeah. So when I wanted to go get out in the sun, oftentimes what would happen is I would naturally get these ideas for my business instead of banging my head against the wall in front of my computer trying to get the work done or trying to make the thing happen. So it's really important to value what our body needs and come back down here and ask what it needs. So the overanalyzing plays right along with the anxieties. So there's some different things that I definitely recommend. Journaling, microdosing, Hathor's honey on Instagram, which I'll tag maybe in the comments, is where you can get the microdosing honey. Just find ways that you know to start to be able to open that dialogue with your body. Hi, if you're just joining. Okay, so Maria says okay, wait, I have to go up. Feeling it, lots of this is Jessie, feeling lots of self-regulation, over-analyzing, lots of deep breaths, but feeling empowered to take up space and honor my truth. Yes. Thank you. That reminded me to take a deep breath. Venus and Virgo over here, okay? So sometimes I think love language is getting it all out as soon as possible, as quick as possible, so that people can receive the medicine, right? And that's not a gift. So slowing down, deep breaths. Okay, Maria says, oh my God, totally me. I'm go all the time, even if I'm tired. Yeah, so just the shift is just starting to listen and rest. It doesn't mean that we're not going to get stuff done. And Maria, I know from looking at your chart that you have a lot of the masculine like me. And so it's just important to overvalue the feminine, not because it's more valuable than the masculine. It's just that we've been conditioned to value the masculine and not the feminine. So just balancing those. So this is Feminine Leadership. We start Friday. It's a 13-week journey. Super excited. If it's something that you really want to do, but you can't seem to make the resources happen, I do have sliding scale available. There are 2 spots available at sliding scale rate. So if it's something that's just been really calling to you, but you don't know how, just reach out to me. Yeah. Oh, Anastasia, hello. Hi, everyone. If you're just joining. Okay. So I'm going to wrap up because I've said everything I wanted to say, I think, but my body needs to come off of here. But I'm definitely going to come back on in the next few days and talk about the new moon in Virgo. I don't want you to miss the readings that I have available. $165 for a Mercurial clarity reading with me. It's available through the link in my profile, and they're available till Wednesday. So if you're just wanting some direction and clarity for your next moves, we look at Mars in Gemini for the next 7 months, where that's happening in your chart. We look at the Mercury retrograde and where that's going to happen in your chart. And we're looking at this new moon and how to plan in a very embodied way these next, really 6 months, but these next few months. Keep breathing. Thank you. So that's all happening. The other thing that I wanted to just say is that I'm feeling as though what's coming through is Bitches Shine Brighter, which I'm going to run on the live journey starting in Libra season. So that's going to start September 22nd and run for 4 weeks live. It'll have a week before that. We'll open for the first module, and then that's already pre-recorded, and then it'll be live for 4 weeks. So Bitches Shine Brighter is all about boundary setting, and in particular for women who have been giving too much and are hypersensitive, feel depleted easily, finding and understanding the energetics of knowing how to hold your own energy in certain situations and not chameleoning yourself to fit into the environments around you, starting to set the vibe instead of what I call inter-vibin'. So I'm doing a really special, so if you're not already on my newsletter, I really recommend getting on there, because I'm going to send out a very early pre-registration that I'm super excited to offer to you all for the 4-week journey. It'll be $333 for the 4-week journey with me, where we look at your chart. Oh, hey, hi. So it'll be $333. So if you've been wanting to do Bitch to Shine Brighter, but haven't been able to make it happen, I'm just opening up some things for women that I know want this work and have reached out to me and just said, like, it's just not accessible to me. That all being said, I love you all. If you missed the beginning of this and you want to hear about the Mercurial AF week that we're having, go to the beginning of this on my post. Please give this post a little love if you want to share it with someone, or share it in your story or comment. I love you all. And if you get the reading with me this week, you'll be in the loop with what's happening in your chart, and I'll share more. But anyway, I'm super excited about what's coming this fall, and I love you all.